Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this latest version of Tales from Outer Space, where I take an HFY story from somewhere around the internet and read it aloud for your enjoyment. All the relevant links are down below. Like, subscribe, and all that YouTube comf to help this video and channel grow. Anyways, as always, I hope that you enjoy. I would just like to thank the following Tier 5 patrons and channel members for supporting the channel: Datamagnet and Bob the Dragon. Thank you again. And now, on to the story. The Fall, written by yousureimnotarobot. I remember them, the humans. Skinny creatures, only 4 limbs. We still have statues somewhere in the dusty edges of our history hives. We disliked them at first, filled with their stupid enthusiasm for the great dark, ignoring fears of others. Worse, never even noticing the dangers as they smile at the universe that was trying to kill them. I miss them. The day I left their system to birth, the day they sent me home. This is what they must have felt. A voice pulled him back into the tedium of genocide. High Commander of the Venants has broken the lines at Sector 18. Our reinforcements are not ready yet. The commander nodded. Send them to Sector 17 as soon as they can move. 18 has fallen. If I've learned anything in this cursed war, it is not to reinforce failure. He watched as the crewman grew older in front of his eyes. He kept his voice flat, compassionate, as he watched the man's scales dull and take on an edge of white that would one day, if he survived, mark him as a veteran. Are your family out there? The silence confirmed it, the tightly held pain evident in his soldier's face. I'm sorry. I can't send more men to die if I can't hold the planet. I hope that they made the evacuation. In his mind, he knew almost to the minute what was happening. Once the Venants broke the line in the system, then the moons would burn, then anything left firing from orbit. Then the feeding would begin. Seeding attacks on civilian centers, followed by endless bugs born from the wreckage filling the streets. Then the bugs grew and attacked everything, even each other. Before the end, they would have killed everything that moved, and then their fecking ships would land. Some call, some pheromone would summon the bugs, and they would fight and kill each other on the path to the ships. Those that survived would become the Venants, and then they stripped what was left of the world, always leaving with more warriors and bigger fleets, and then they went looking for the next target. Sector 17. Another crewman hesitated and looked up. Sir, I have a signal. It's marked as personal, for you. Sir, it's from, Sector 7. The crew on his bridge stirred with that addition. Sector 7, they all remembered that one. He tried to show nothing, but you don't expect ghosts to call you from the hells. He looked at his crew. Probably a damn satellite, that remembers me. I probably owe them money. I'll take it in my cabin. Begin rerouting our supplies to Sector 17 and get the numbers up on the evacuation. Now! The crew returned to work as they tried to steal their people from the jaws of hell. The cabin was quiet. Just a small beeping noises that he could never identify or stop. One day, he was going to rip this room apart, find them, and then go after the jerks that put them there. He knew he was avoiding a huge everything. His people were dying, and now he had a call from the dead. He opened the message. It was a human. Before he could stop himself, he paused it, suddenly back in his memories. The humans had held Sector 7. The humans were Sector 7. Their beautiful, murderous worlds, their carefully cared for predators. They had been so proud to rebuild it, taking all the industrial production out into the openness of space and doing what they called rewilding. He had been terrified when they showed him what they had built, but he could remember the joy in the ambassador's face as he'd shown him an island so full of what they called snakes that no human could ever set foot on it and live. The human had told him that it was seriously cool. He could think of no other race that reveled so much in the diversity of life, even life that was happy to kill them, as the humans were. Then Sector 7 had fallen, and the humans had perished. All their work burned as another affront to the silent gods. They had insisted he leave. They had given his people every weapon and ship design that they had ever created, and went to fight in a determined rage that was made him weep. I had watched the fleets leave. The mix of efficient and well-built fleet combined with whatever they could throw together in the last days. So many of their people had been lost already, trying to hold the line, trying to keep the enemy far from the home. They had inflicted terrible damage, but they were but one sector against dozens. This was the end. We were many systems far from the human space, and in my youth, I thought us immortal. I felt sorry for the humans, but it never occurred to me that this would happen to us. It was like some dismal holoplay. We hadn't sent help. We had done nothing for these people except let them die in a war that we thought far from our borders. We had stayed on the edge of the home system, hoping against hope as the human fleets had torn the Venants apart. Until the next Venants fleet, grown from the stolen life of Sector 6, had arrived. The humans had burned their own worlds. They had told him that they would leave nothing. But I didn't understand. Not until that moment. Their broken fleets fled, lost in the dark forever. Every moon, every planet exploded in a raging fire that nearly took me with it. They burned their own sun, rather than let it feed the monsters. And now I had a voicemail from them. He hit the play button, and he clenched himself to hear the plea for aid, some cry for help from those beautiful, doomed creatures. He would explain when he met them in the house, assuming the bastards hadn't tamed all the demons. He recognized a human, a junior aide to the ambassador on that trip so long ago. His memory was fogged by time as he struggled for a name. It probably didn't matter. Captain, or whatever your rank you hold now, I assume your people has suffered accelerated promotion, as we have. We are alive and we are coming. Sectors 7, 3, 4, and 6 are back in our hands. We are fighting for 5 right now, and we are winning. I know you are a hell of a long way from us right now, but know this, we are coming. We're on the way. Hold the lines. I'm attaching a new ship designs, cheaper, faster, and better. Build them and hold. Remember that island, that one that no human could stand in without dying. Turns out, it was us. Earth was the Snake Island for these feckers. Hold the line while we burn these bastards back to bedrock. I will try and open up a line to your command if we break through far enough. Yours was the only signal I could remember. The human looked tired, even as he smiled from the screen. We got this. Keep your people alive. Gear up. Ambassador Killian, out. He had contacted his high command, almost in tears that day. That message from the dead and the damned had given them the one weapon that nothing can defeat. He had given them hope. That we could survive, that the humans were coming, that the Venants would fall, and that we would live. We lost Sector 17, then 16, but we held them at 15, and we didn't let go. Our new ships brought hell onto the Venants, and then they recognized the tech, falling back in fear. We began to burn them, as the humans say, back to bedrock. Today my fleet will meet the humans at Sector 11, and we will crush the Venants from our space. The humans tell me they will fight on, seeking out the birth world of these creatures, and burn it down. I didn't understand what the ambassador told me until I had the time to study their history. A rare pastime in this war. They intend to raise the cities and sow their fields with salt. Of his expression, I don't expect these creatures to trouble us after today. But that is for another time. He laid out his plan to the captains, those white-shelled veterans of every death, those that had followed his determination, that tactics that gave him a rare smile. Today the war would end. Today, they would turn the horror back on the enemy. He had made it clear that he expected no survivors. If it took a battleship to kill the last of these things, then he would pay that price. This would end, and he would never sail in space again. He looked at the captains, most of whom who had not been around for endless defeats. The good ones asked themselves why and acted accordingly. The rest just burned for revenge for the ones lost. He opened comms and said all that he thought needed to be said. "Fleet, arm all systems. Today we take back all we have lost and leave only the burning ghosts of those that dared to take it from us. Vengeance is ours today." They fell upon the ragged remains of the once mighty Venance with a ferocity that matched their hatred, their pain, their loss. Today, the Venance would fall and never rise again. End of story. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you do, please consider supporting the author, even by popping over and leaving a thumbs up or a nice comment, just to show your appreciation for the story. However, if you wish to support this channel, there are links down below which will help immensely. I will see you all in the next one, and until then, I hope that you have a fantastic day. Cheers.